Good evening, friends. Today we are going to know about ray theory transmissions. So, uh, before going to ray theory transmission, we have already known the basic equations, that is Snell's law, diffraction, reflection, total internal reflection, and all these topics in previous classes. So, let us have the brief discussion on the topics. So, refractive index of a medium. What is refractive index of a medium? It is defined as the ratio of velocity of light in vacuum by velocity of light in medium. So, as ray of light travels slowly, so in denser medium the light travels slower, and in rarer medium the light travels faster. Next, what is refraction? When a ray is incident on interference between two dielectrics of different refractive index, diffraction occurs. So refraction occurs means when the refractive indices are different and we are using two dielectric materials, the ray is incident on one refractive index and it is partially refracted into the another refractive index, that is termed as refraction. That is termed as refraction. So next, angle of incidence with an angle theta 1 to the normal at the surface of interference where n1 is greater than n2, then the ray will have refraction with theta 2 to the normal when theta 2 is greater than theta 1. So theta 1 incidence, it is defined as the ray incident, and n1 is greater than n2, then the ray will have refraction with theta 2. So refraction with the refraction means if the dielectric material is separating the two refractive indices. If the first refractive indices is greater than refractive indices theta 2, then the angle is theta 1. And n2 is greater than n1 in sense. N1 here, a first condition, n1 is greater than n2. Here the angle is made in theta 1, and the refracted angle in different dielectric medium, it is termed as theta 2. According to Snell's law, we know n1 sin theta 1 is equal to n2 sin theta 2. So sin theta 1 by sin theta 2 is equal to n2 by n1. This is familiarly known as Snell's equation or Snell's law. If n2 is greater than n1 in sense, theta 2 is lesser than theta 1. n1 is greater than n2 in sense, theta 2 is greater than theta 1. Here it is the condition for Snell's law. n2 is greater than n1, then theta 2 is greater than theta 1. Theta 1 represents the normal incident ray angle, and theta 2 represents the refracted angle. n1 represents first refractive index, and n1 represents first refractive index, and n2 represents the second refractive index. Here it is the condition for Snell's law. Then what is refraction? Simply the light is incident on dielectric material, and it is refracted or bent or it is travels into another medium with a decreasing angle or with the bending of ray, that is termed as refraction. So here it is clearly saying that the middle line is referred as reference line or refracted dielectric material. Here n1 and n2 are two refractive indices. So theta 1 angle gets incident on dielectric material, and it gets reflected to the same medium, that is n1, then it is termed as reflected ray. And in the n2 material, refractive index, second refractive index, some part of the light is decreasing with the decreasing in sense, somewhat bending, it is traveled into the another medium, that is termed as refracted ray. Next, critical angle. What is critical angle? We have already known when the angle of refraction, that means the bending, the ray which gets incident on one medium and travels into the another medium, that is referred as refraction angle. That sense, when the angle of refraction is 90 degrees, the refracted ray angle of refraction is 90 degrees, the refracted ray emerges parallel to the interference between dielectrics. So the refracted ray emerges parallel to the interference then between dielectrics. Interface parallel, here the ray emerges parallel to the interference line between two dielectrics. Then the angle of incidence is termed as critical angle, and it is written as theta c. N1 sin theta c is equal to N2 sin 90 degrees. Theta c is equal to 90 degrees from according to Snell's law. This familiar equation according to Snell's law. N1 sin theta 2 is equal to N2 sin theta 1. So that's equation only here we see. So sin theta c is equal to N2 by N1. Theta c is equal to sin inverse of N2 by N1. Critical angle or total internal reflection. So what is total internal reflection? Here it is clear. Total internal reflection. When N1 is greater than N2, so first refractive index is greater than second refractive index, then we have known that the ray which emerges parallel to the dielectric material and it is perpendicular to the it is perpendicular to the reference line. Okay, so the ray which gets incident on the electric material and it is reflected with some angle to the same medium. Okay, same medium, then it is referred as internal reflection. Here why it is termed as total internal reflection? So y means here the internal reflection is possible only by increasing angle or decreasing angle. Here we are no using any external material to reflection. So if for example, suppose if the ray gets reflected by using mirror or any other material, some of the energy of the incident ray will be absorbed by that material. So here no mirror or no material is used, so that purpose no loss, so it can be termed as total internal reflection. Okay, total internal reflection. If the angle of incident is greater than critical angle, then the light is reflected back into originating dielectric medium. Originating dielectric medium in sense same medium, incident ray medium, which is known as total internal reflection. So here it is cleared. The concept is cleared with three figures. First figure is A, second figure B, C. So in figure A, what we have observed means index N2 material is there, high index material N1 is there. So here the material in N1 is get incident on dielectric material, somewhat of the power will get refracted into the another medium and some part will be reflected into the same medium, then it is termed as partial internal reflection. Okay, then it is termed as partial internal reflection. Second condition, here the critical angle is formed. How the critical angle is formed? The middle line is dielectric material and the vertical line is interference line. So here the refracted ray, which is here N1 is incident material, refracted ray in sense N2 material. So that refracted ray will get parallel to the dielectric material and it perpendicular to the interference line. So here that's why the critical angle is formed. The dielectric material is parallel with the refraction ray and it is 90 degrees with the interference line. So here that is the reason how the critical angle is formed. Next, clearly see figure C. Here what is happening here, n1 is material, n1 refractive index is there and n2 refractive index is there. So what is happening here really, the in figure B, the refracted ray which is travel in parallel with the dielectric material, while by increasing some angle, some incident angle, while increasing some incident angle, it gets reflected. Here the term changes from refracted to reflected, the reflected into the same medium. That's the reason how the total internal reflection is possible. Okay. Here it is very clear. Here it is very clear how the light ray is transmitted in a perfect optical fiber. How means, see, let's see, the middle line is termed as core axis. We have already seen the structure of optical fiber. The innermost material is known as core material, and the core material is surrounded with some material that is termed as cladding, and on the cladding material some protective layer is used, that is known as buffer coating, and also dielectric material. So here the middle line is termed as core axis, and we here indicating only low index cladding but not high index cladding here. So the inside the core material, how the light propagating, okay, or how the light transmitting inside the core axis. High index core, with some angle, it gets to touch with the boundary of core, that is low index core material, and it again reflected back. The arrow mark shows the direction of the ray, how the ray traveling, and it touches the another boundary of the core material with some angle, and again it will travels in upper direction. So here how the ray refracted, how the ray reflects totally inside the core axis. So this is how the transmission of the light ray. Okay, next, this is how the transmission of light ray. Okay friends, thank you. In next class we will see another topic.